So I decided to go out to the lakeside today on a whim, and as such, I forgot to bring a sharpener. I grabbed extra paper, I grabbed my pencils, grabbed everything I could think of except for a sharpener. So I had to work with what I had as the pencils wore down. I never sharpened those Caran in the beginning anyway, so they were okay. They made it through, which is the important part. So I'm trying to compare Caran to Prismacolor Premier for my own sake as well as everyone else's, and I know this has been done a lot. I haven't used Prismacolor in forever, and I wanted to see if it's anything like what I remember. And obviously, they're entirely different price points, so they're kind of hard to compare in price, but trying to use a basic 12 color set that I could find that was closest to the colors that are in the Caran. And I'm just I'm just drawing the lakeside as a sketch. It's not like I'm not going for any kind of realism. It's almost like impressionism with colored pencil. I was just trying to get the light down or the color that I could see, kind of. I mean, and I'm also struggling here in the beginning trying to get this little thing to sit still. I wasn't able to bring my, let me just say this. I had to get on the scooter to go up here. It's right around the corner from my house, and I have a little electric scooter that we use to get around the town. Sometimes we get around town with it. Just felt like getting out and having some fresh air and doing kind of a plein air style, but with color pencil. And it was on a whim. Like I said, I wasn't as prepared. Which is kind of the fun thing, because then you're kind of forced to make certain decisions. And a couple of times I think I went to go grab the Caran instead of the Prismas, because I guess psychologically they feel better. They're fatter pencils. However, I can't really say that the Prismas are bad. I've used Prismas a lot in the past. I've had a bunch of sets of them, probably 4 sets or something. So I've gone through them a lot. I ran out of space on my phone to record, and I kept checking to see if it was recording, and it looked like it was, then apparently it was not at one point. I just got comfortable into what I was doing, and then I lost the footage that I thought I had. So again, I was kind of in a rush, but the point of this video is just to kind of show you what a quick sketch looks like between the two of them. And I gotta say, using this thing to try to burnish colored pencil, plus the shortness of the card itself, is very difficult. It's definitely a stretch. It's a lot of patience. I mean, I got 2 cards done in the amount of time it would take me to do a full-size drawing. Arguably, it's just a quick sketch, but keep that in mind. The colors don't exactly match. I tried my best to find a color set, the sorted color set, the one with the little, like I showed in the beginning, the one with the parrot on it. It was as close as I could get it. Again, I am trying to work against time here, so I'm working as fast as I can. So I look frantic. Wasn't exactly and this is funny to say, wasn't 100% in the mood to draw today. Just have some personal stuff going on, and I was just kind of forcing myself to get out of the house and do something. Just try to stay productive. Just try doing something. So I figure I've been waiting to do this, and I do want to do another test. This was a quick sketch just to see, in a pinch, not thinking about it much. And if you think about it too hard, then you might find yourself favoring one or the other. Kind of here's an example. Let's just say you change your air filter in your car, right? Because it's some magic air filter. It's supposed to save your gas money. And so you start feathering the gas pedal. That ain't going to do it. I mean, if you're not driving the same way you normally would, it's not a true test, right? So sort of that placebo effect. You want to make sure that you're not thinking too much and you're just going at it. And that's what I was doing. I was trying to go back and forth, and I kept confusing myself on which one was which, so decided to focus on one pencil at a time. Like I said, I was just trying to get out of the house, and these houses are far across from where I'm at in the lake, so they're not 2 scales, so to speak. The wax bloom is definitely more apparent on the Prismacolor than on the Caran, but the Caran does have wax bloom. It's just not as obvious. You don't see the pencil strokes as easily in the reflectivity of the wax. So, and again, this is vellum paper, Bristol vellum, cut down to ATC size, or artist trading card size, 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch, or 3.5 by 2.5, however you want to think of it. Of course, normally on a landscape, I would turn the cards sideways, but because of how people store these cards, I just thought it might be better to just keep them upright. And like I said, I don't usually use this thing to draw with. I use my little art board that I made, and I wasn't able to bring my art board with me because I have a folding easel that collapses down and has a little bag. I couldn't find the bag in time. I had to hurry up because we have a lot of storage bags in the garage because of my wife's business. We have a lot of storage bags and things like that. So I was like, I'm not even going to look for it. I'm not even going to mess with this right now. I can't even fit this in my bag. And my little scooter has a little basket on the back. So if I had a duffel bag, fine. But most of our bags are full of inventory. So I just said, I forget it. I'll just grab this little thing. I remembered I had this because I don't use it like this. I use it as a storage container for my paint. And it's a little hard to push. It's a little difficult to get it to stay still still when I'm using it. But I got it to kind of lock down here. I guess it's kind of pushing against my book bag and I didn't even know. But it finally sat still. So I was happy with that. It was also a really nice day today. It was really pretty out. And I just thought, let me get out the house. And I was doing my best, like I said, to just kind of burnish these. It's kind of the point too. I could swatch them and I could blend test and all that good stuff. But I think it's better just to go ahead and use them so I can compare directly, like which is technically better. I mean, the Prismas do the job in my opinion, but they feel a little more, let me just say it this way. I feel like you can get more like a Crayola crayon style look with a Prisma. And not a bad way, but I mean, it leaves like little white specks. It doesn't quite get into the tooth of the paper as easily. The pigment load on the Caran Dash is just better. I mean, that's what you're paying for, partly. But I was trying to get some of that blue hue, because there isn't like they call it true blue rather than like a cerulean. I think it used to say cerulean blue, but maybe not. Maybe that was just a different set that I had. But it says true blue, and it's kind of like a sort of a cerulean blue. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. But there's nothing sky blue like there is in that Caran Dash. So there's like that true blue, then there's a violet blue, and then there's violet. So I just kind of mixed those together to pretend that it's water. The same here. This is with the Caran Dash on that side. I was just trying to get the colors trying to balance the two together. I was trying to get them to be the same. I kind of was trying to get them as close as I could to each other in terms of color, not layout accuracy. I wasn't really worried about the houses or the trees. I was more about color. I was trying to see if I can get the colors to balance together. And so funny enough, what I was trying to say is that the Prismacolors are kind of they're more illustrated looking to me. They feel like something that you would expect more in like a children's book if you were to draw something, versus like the Caran Dash feels like it's trying to be more museum quality, or more serious, if that makes any sense. More artist, like higher end or fine art quality is what I'm trying to say. Not that Prismas can't be fine art quality. I've done some really serious realism with Prismas. Again, that wasn't the point of this. This was just a quick sketch. The Caran Dash, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about them other than, yeah, they're pricey, but they also go really far. I mean, I haven't sharpened them like at all yet. Still haven't. So the pigment load is so heavy on them that it goes really, really, really quick, and they last. It doesn't hold a point, which is fine. I don't mind that as much. If you're doing super detailed, like hyper realistic stuff, then yeah, of course that matters. But when you're just illustrating something, a quick sketch like this, no, it does the job. So I don't know if that's apparent right there, but you can see, I don't know how else to describe it except that it reminds me of like a crayon wax. I've always thought of Prismacolors as like crayons inside of a wooden shell, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because you can get some cool effects with it too, if that's what you want. But I personally do need the blender, which I did not bring, by the way. That's another thing I didn't bring. And here is where I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to lay this color in, get something resembling what the Caran Dash is doing. It takes a lot more to load that color on there, and again, the edges of the card are a pain. I get frustrated with myself when I do that. That's why I'm huffing over there. It's not the pencil's fault. It's just me, because I like to draw really fast, and get like my motion of my hand going, because I'm obviously, you're an artist, you're visual, right? But I want to see the color, because I adjust as I go. So if I can't get the color down quickly, I get frustrated. And like when I catch the edge of the paper, I feel like a kid again, where you're like, crack, crack, crack. I'm like, it drives me crazy. But the cool thing about the Caran Dash is that it holds those strokes, like the direction I'm pushing, it just keeps layering the color on there. Just keeps layering. Like you could layer it forever. So this is my first sketch attempt for both of these together. So what I want to do now, I did something as similar I did before, as I want to take the both of them and do an exact side by side, like a bird or something, and do a left side and a right side, and so you can see the differences. The wax bloom is not as apparent here, but when I get home and I looked at it in the light, you have to look at it kind of at an angle, so not a big deal. I'm used to that with the wax pencils, so it's not something I really care about. If I cared about that, I would just paint. So like I said, the saturation is really, really good in the Caran Dash, but the thing about the Prismacolors is that that set is as close as I could find the sets that I could find online that were, or anywhere really, because I even looked at the art stores and stuff. I couldn't find anything that was exactly the same as those 12 set that Caran Dash has. That's the best I could do. So I was trying to get these colors to look as close. Like, can I get Prisma to look like Caran Dash in 12 count and vice versa? Not really. No, I couldn't. I got it as close as I could, but that's just me. I'm not saying somebody else could. If I laid into that blue up there with the white, if I'd brought my sharpener, maybe I could have burnished that blue up there at the top and even on the lake on the Prismacolor and really gotten it to lighten up. But that blue on the right side has sort of like almost a light violet blue with like a white tint to it. I can't really explain it. Very unique. And all the time we've lived over here, this is the first time I've actually sat down at this park. We drive by it all the time, but I figured I'd sit down and try drawing some. I was just getting frustrated because I was like, I don't know what to draw today, so I'm just gonna go to the lake. I was gonna paint at the lake originally, and I might do that at some point. I might just bring the watercolor with me and try that out. But again, it's kind of hard because I can bring the folding easel with me, but I can't bring it with me on the scooter. I'd have to take the car. And I just wanted to get out of the house and enjoy the wind. See, I'm working fast. The funny thing is, my hand usually gets cramped working in this little small area. For whatever reason, I guess it's because the softness of both of these pencils. It doesn't hurt to work on these little cramped areas. I did actually do an ATC with some Stettler Softs, the Super Softs. I'm holding one in my hand currently. And then I have a set of the Faber-Castell Black Editions. And those are pretty soft too. And at some point, I kind of want to try to make a piece of artwork with all of them. You don't have to use all of them necessarily, but just like whatever colors I can pick out from each one to have something unique. But what I would do is, because these are so similar, I might end up mixing the Prisma and Caran d'Ache to see if I can get some interesting results. But if you look at the difference between them, when I lay the black down, it doesn't have any specks of white. And you don't have to push hard to get the color to come off. It just kind of lays in there nicely. It blends really well. And again, they're just different colors. I did the best I could, but this is what I ended up with. I think I spent maybe like 45 minutes doing both of them. So not too bad, considering I had no idea what I was going to do and was just winging it. Honestly, I'll just say this. There's nothing wrong with Prismacolors. If you know what you're doing, you can get some seriously realistic results out of them, because I have a colorless blender from Prismacolor plus a decent set of colors. You can get a lot done. I usually get like I think it was a set of 36, 24. I think it might have been 24. And I had that a couple of times, and then I had a smaller set like these before, but it was a different collection of color. But anyway, I'm really having to burnish hard here to get that wax to push around, because I'm trying to get the deep blue. So it does have a lot of pigment in it. It's just, you got to layer it in there. I do my best to burnish to get some of that tooth, I guess, is sticking up. Kind of reminds me of like dust particles. The Caran d'Ache just kind of layers better. So like you kind of, as you're layering like that, it covers the tooth, but you can keep going while you're burnishing. Like I burnished and it just kept adding color, which is incredible. It's kind of like the Caran d'Ache allow you to make mistakes and cover them, with Prismas are kind of like you're stuck with what you got. There we go. I'm complaining because my hands hurt me now. But you can see how easily that's moving the pigment around. I mean, of course, the wax is moving with it, but it's burnishing really nicely and clean. It almost looks like you painted with a pencil. Look at the skyline. Look at that. It looks all smooth. It's all smooth looking. And I only had a little bit of white left on this pencil, and I was doing my best to try to get it to do the same thing, to create the look of clouds. So I'm going to give them a fair shake, and I'm going to do something in the studio. I'm going to draw something up, and I'm going to see if I can get the Prismacolors to look as good as the Caran d'Ache do in terms of that hiding the tooth on the paper after you're done drawing. Just feeling for the wax here to see, like, is there anything flaking off? Is there room to push any more? Usually when the wax is bloomed completely, you can feel it. It feels like you're rubbing your hand on a crayon. Again, they definitely feel more premium in your hand, the Caran d'Ache. The Prismacolors feel to me like a traditional colored pencil. Like, I mean, they feel like, and by that I mean like a Crayola, or back when we were kids, like Rose Art or the Crazy Art, the cheaper stuff. But they don't lay down cheaper. Like I said, they lay more like a crayon, which is kind of what they really are. If you think about it, it's a wax-based pencil. I mean, it's a wax and oil binder and all that good stuff. That's a crayon, let's be real. But it's a specific kind of crayon. Crayons used to be a very serious tool, so they just got marketed to be for kids. I guess because they don't make a mess. Kids don't have to think about how mixing color works. They could just lay things down and find out. So on the front, they're very different because I didn't have like a dark brown for the right side for the Caran d'Ache. It just have sort of like a reddish hued brown. And so I had to kind of like carefully mix the black and that reddish brown to get darker brown. And then the left side, I did have a darker brown. So that's why they look quite different. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, quick sketchy catch. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.